The following program contains mature subject matter. Listener discretion is advised. Montreal's news talk leader, CJAD 800 presents Passion with sex therapist Dr. Laurie Betito. To reach Dr. Laurie, call 514-790-0991. Star Talk, a free call on Bell Mobility. And 800-491-CJAD. Now, here's Dr. Laurie.
Welcome to Passion, a show all about sex, love, and relationships. I'm Dr. Laurie Betito, clinical psychologist, sex therapist, and we have the lines open for you at 514-790-0991, Star Talk, star 8255 on your Bell Mobility cell phone, 1-800-491-CJD if you're calling us long distance. And if you prefer, you can text message us at 514-800. Tonight, it is our regular monthly feature that we call Dating Dilemmas. And I'm joined by Frank Kermit, who is a seduction and dating coach, and among other things, actually, of franktalks.com. He's the author of many, actually, books on the subject. He also runs workshops called Frank Talks Relationship Management Classes every Friday evening from 7 to 10 p.m. at the Alternative Lifestyle Community Center. So you can find out more by going to franktalks.com. You are one busy guy.
Very much so. It's good. It's good to be busy.
Oh, I know. I know busy. Yes, it is good to be busy. I like being busy.
Busy people make things happen.
Well, you know, there's that old saying, right? If you want something done, ask a busy person. Mm-hmm, it's very true.
Yeah, that's because we have to get it done now so we can get back to doing the things that we need to do.
So we've got a couple of issues we want to discuss tonight with our listeners. And in the first half, we want to talk about I guess single parents who are out in the dating scene. So we're talking about people who are divorced, maybe who are widowed, usually with younger-ish children, and who have to get right back into it. And there are special issues, dilemmas associated with that. You don't have the same freedom as when you don't have children. You
don't have the same freedom, and you have to battle additional stigmas. First question is, why are you a single parent?
Why are you divorced?
Why are you divorced? Why are you separated? Those are usually the questions that come up. And since you already have kids, that adds an extra dynamic for anybody who wants to date you, because now they have to take your kids into consideration.
Right.
In terms of when to pick you up. Do they pick you up in front of the kids? Do they go in to meet? Do they have to wait until the kids are with your ex-spouse?
They can only see each other every second week because, in 1 week. And I actually have met people who say they don't want to meet, they don't want to date people with kids.
That's right. They're in my clientele as well. There are people who simply insist, I don't want to get seriously involved with anyone who already has children. Some of my clientele wouldn't even consider going out on a date with someone who already has children.
But that's a bit of a problem, Frank, when people who are redating again, or they're usually a little older. So, we're talking about late 30s, 40s. So with the pool, it's going to be very difficult to find a pool of potential people that have no children or haven't been married. So you're really limiting your pool.
I remember talking to one single parent who insisted that she did not want to date another single parent. She wanted to date a guy who had no kids. And I just remember thinking, and we talked about this, saying, don't you think that dating a single parent might actually work out better because he knows what it is you're going through?
Yeah.
Whereas a single person who's never had kids probably can't really relate to your situation.
Yeah, and actually there's a single parents association in Montreal also that people can go to. They have regular meetings. They have events for single people with their kids. I forget the name in French, but if you Google Single Parents Association, you'll definitely find it. So I want to ask you, have you ever dated a single parent? Maybe you're a single parent trying to get back into the dating scene after divorce or the end of a long-term relationship, and what challenges have you faced? Are you someone who refuses to date single parents? I want to hear from you. Give us a call at 514-790-0991. So how do we deal? I guess the biggest obstacle, I don't want to say obstacle, the biggest factor would be the children.
Absolutely. And if you're dating someone who already has children, it's important to remember that, yes, you should be friendly to that person's children if you encounter them, but it's better that you don't play any significant role in the life of those kids unless you're sure that the person you're dating is someone that you want to make a serious commitment to down the road.
I think that's really important because I don't know of anything more disturbing to children than to see a parade of partners coming in and out, in and out. And so they get attached, they leave. They get attached, they leave. So I recommend do not introduce a partner that you're dating unless it's something that's more serious.
I fully agree. Let's also add that in many cases, a child might start to feel guilty for showing any sort of friendliness or affection to the new friend of either mom or dad, out of fear that they might feel isolated or abandoned by the other parent.
Oh, that's true. Loyalties. We're talking about loyalties here.
So let's say you're dating a single mom and she has kids. Those kids might not necessarily feel comfortable even being friendly to you or acknowledging you, and it has nothing to do with you. It has to do with the fact that they don't want to hurt their dad.
Right.
Regardless of the gender, regardless of which side it's on. You never put kids in that type of situation. You don't force emotional maturity type situations on children. They're not ready to handle that, and I think that it's wrong.
Right. I agree. I think it's that's definitely difficult. What's the biggest mistake that single parents make in dating?
In my experience, it's the fact they try to hide the fact that they're parents.
That's like when we get to our online dating in the next half, we'll talk about that, about some of the lies people tell on their profiles. But can you imagine you don't say that you have children?
I know some people who started dating someone only to find out around the third or fourth date after they've been intimate. Oh, by the way, and usually it's because they want the person they're seeing to like them first. Well, if I get this person to like me, then when they find out I have kids, even if that would have scared them off at first, they've gotten to know me and they'll stick around.
Right.
If you're going to start a relationship with hiding truth, that's not a good basis for any long-term success.
No. The other thing that worries me too, though, is I know that there are pedophiles prowling, looking for single parents to date because they want access to the children.
I actually studied this program on emotional manipulators, and they talk about that exactly.
Really?
Pedophiles, people who, let's say, are gambling addicts, they'll look at the obituaries to try and find someone who's been widowed, and then they'll go in and they'll forge a relationship with the widow so that they have access to the inheritance, access to the money. Pedophiles, this is a very ripe territory where you're looking for a mother who is very vulnerable emotionally, who will latch on to any strong figure that comes into her life that's going to, quote unquote, solve all her problems. And of course, the children get victimized. That's the scary part. It doesn't happen so often, but it still happens. And I think, we just need to be aware. It doesn't happen to everybody, but it does happen. Dating dilemmas tonight on Passion. We're talking about dating single parents. And in the second half of the program, we'll try and offer you some online dating tips, some do's and don'ts about online dating, which I know a lot of you have tried, a lot of you have been disappointed with. So we'll look for your stories after 10:30, and we'll continue this, dating single parents. If you're a single parent and on the dating scene, this is for you, and we would love to hear from you. You're listening to Passion on CJAD 800.
Frank Talks is sponsored in part by Everything Out of Her Mouth is a Test, a man's guide to the emotional needs of women. What would your life be like if you knew exactly what to say and do with women? This book is for the guy that simply wants to learn how to handle women's tests by addressing her emotional needs. By this, you create the type of attraction that will make her see you as the one she was destined to be with. This book will teach you how to get the woman you want and how to keep her. Everything Out of Her Mouth is a Test is the Rosetta Stone for men to understand exactly what a woman means when she speaks and how to respond. Is that worth changing your life forever? Buy this book at franktalks.com now.